Welcome back to Taste Washington. Hi, I'm Christopher Chan, Advanced Sommelier, and welcome to Taste Washington 2023. Today we have over 200 Washington wineries, 50 Washington restaurants, and hundreds of people about to taste some of the best whites, rosés, reds, and bubbles here in the Pacific Northwest.
We have a 100% dry rosé of Nebbiolo. That's our oddball, which is awesome. Textural, got acid, so that's what we're going for there. The Cluster F is carbonic Grenache, so Beaujolais inspired. High elevation Grenache, actually north of Yakima Valley. So fresh, floral, crunchy, easy drinking. And then the Gold Drop collections are Estate Vineyard, so Dead Poplar Vineyard, we farm, all organically, and it's Mourvedre Grenache and a little Syrah co-fermented.
So Sauvignon Blanc, how many sources are going into this particular expression?
Just one vineyard, McNary Vineyard up in the Horse Heaven Hills. 100% Sauvignon Blanc, all stainless steel, tank aged, bottled early to keep that freshness there. Just really looking after a really expressive, vibrant SB.
You're picking the fruit on the less ripe side to maintain some of that acidity?
Yeah, we're just around 13% alcohol there, so definitely not pushing the sugars up there very much. We want this wine to be that kind of like glass pour, retail sort of price point.
Wow, all right, well that smells fantastic. First of all, it's dark berries and cherries and cocoa. So you've got some oak.
One of my absolute favorites. It's got a great structure to it. The finish is amazing. Almost tea tannins on the finish, so I actually recommend...
Very fine grain tannins.
Yeah, yes. I actually recommend instead of a red meat with this, going with a light colored fatty meat like duck, even a cedar plank salmon with that.
Yeah, sure. Salmon, okay, I get that. So proceeds from each bottle sales helps to fund the mission of clean water around the world.
Providing clean, potable water. Yep.
Awesome. This one is full of great aromas on the green spectrum in the most healthy way. Talk about this wine.
I've tasted that wine a bunch. Really love that wine. Some of the herbal aspects you're talking about definitely come from the Carmenere characteristics. Yes. Red Mountain's warm. This Estate Vineyard's lower on the mountain, so you're going to get, the Cabernet ripening a little bit later in the window.
So it's cooler because cool air sinks. Now, what I love about aromatics is that they say smell is taste, but texture is not taste, and this wine has great texture. Thanks for sharing this Cooper wine. Taste Washington would not be complete. 200 wineries, we need some food. And we have 50 restaurants here at Taste Washington. Some of the finest, most generous hospitalitarians, culinary artists in the state, in our region.
We have the best of California and the best of Bordeaux.
Okay.
We're right in between.
Ripeness of fruit, but structure.
We have the minerality of Bordeaux and the fruit of the west coast of the U.S. We're West Coast.
So Co-Din is the name.
Yes.
Co-Din Cellars. You've been making your own wine since 2013.
And the wines are vineyard designates. The model is to express the best expression of a unique terroir.
Okay.
And so I find vineyards that I feel are unique and special, consistently great year in and year out, and then I take the best of those vineyards and craft wines in a classical style.
We've got some bubbles here today. What are you pouring me?
This is the sparkling rosé, 100% Malbec.
These grapes are not the typical sparkling wine grapes. Where's your inspiration for using these varieties?
Well, Gamache Vineyard is a colder site, so I picked August 14th in 2021. So they have nice acidity. Just because we always think of sparkling wine being Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, and Chardonnay doesn't mean we have to do that here in Walla Walla.
Well, that's for sure, and I'm glad you're not. This is really a complex wine. It has a lot of texture and some chew to it. There's a lees contact. There's a toastiness here. This hasn't seen oak, has it?
No, it has not. And it was on the lees for 1 year, so it tastes toasted almond in the background. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that give sparkling wines a lot of complexity, a lot of texture, and a lot of flavor. Congratulations, I dig it. Thank you.
All the reds that we make are all estate, and so we've got about 110 acres of the property planted and producing.
Well, let's try one of your wines. We're going to pour the Onyx, and this is one of your the premier Bordeaux blend that you produce.
So this is a Bordeaux blend, something we started making when the vineyard came into production in '97. So, and this is the 2019 vintage, so give it a shot.
Balanced, beautiful, complex, still youthful. And who's making the wine?
So that's me. You know, you pretty much do everything, right?
You do, and that's
America today.
My boss at my law firm was an Italian. He had 3 barrels in his house. I figured if he can make partner at a big law firm and with 3 barrels, I should have a barrel under my house too. And then it just got out of hand.
That did get out of hand.
Couldn't drink it all myself, so we started buying more and making more wine, and here I am 35 years later, Seattle's oldest winery.
You have an affinity for Italian varieties. How did that come about? Was that the old boss?
Well, it was a little bit, but we were making Cab and Merlot and actually Oregon Pinot Noir, and then Clipson Vineyard on Red Mountain said, hey, we don't have a buyer for our Nebbiolo. Are you interested? I love Barolo, Barbaresco, so we started, that's the second oldest planting of Nebbiolo in the state, and that just immediately differentiated me from every other winery in Washington. So we've continued, you know, I love Italy. We're in the slow wine guide now. Now we have Barbera, Sangiovese, Nebbiolo, Washington State's first Sagrantino, and the more the merrier.
You have a Malbec here called Knox, which is named after your grandchild.
Yep.
And one of your signature touches about Washington wine is your extended élevage.
Yes, I age my reds, most of my reds, 46 months in barrel. And so I don't like the really fruit-forward stuff. And so, and then I also keep the acids pretty high, so it makes really nice food wine as well.
I got to say, great acidity here, lots of concentration of fruit, but there's a certain softness, roundness to it, but it's also framework with structure. So a very unique style. You know you're a huge event, a worldwide international success when you finally have merchandise. It's all about the merchandise, and here at Taste Washington, apparently I've got 2 cool cats here, the staff, Hannah and
Chris.
Hannah and Chris, how about that? Chris, tell me about all this great merchandise.
Yeah, so we've got some really great t-shirts, a few different designs. Most popular this year is our black on black, right? That just says Taste Washington on it. It's a little inconspicuous.
I pay extra for subtlety.
That's right, some of us do. And then probably we've got also a Sip Sip Puree. Who doesn't love that?
Is that trademarked yet?
Taste Washington,
okay,
trademark
so
Taste Washington.
Yes.
But our most popular option that we have is the sweatshirt that I'm sporting today, which is this is my wine drinking sweatshirt. It is white. It is a choose your own adventure sweatshirt, so you can tie-dye it with a Merlot or a Pinot.
Rocky Pond started as a 30-acre orchard right on the Columbia River, which is now in the Rocky Reach AVA, and now has over 300 acres running along the Columbia River. So what you're tasting is our 2020 Tumbled Granite Red. This is 95% Cabernet with 5% Syrah, 100% free run. It was the idea I wanted to bring in was a halo type wine that could really showcase this AVA. So we're very proud of this particular wine. This is the first debut, and we'll continue to offer this year in, year out. The blend may change, but it'll represent the finest of the 2020 vintage.
You know, there's something about having that much rock, that much lack of soil, lack of fertility. The pH here is outstandingly high, great structure, great concentration, and there's just this savory character that's associated with it.
And that is the Double D Vineyard. That's exactly how we sort of described it as well.
My passion lies in the Rhone. So my first couple years I only made Rhone. So Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, where it's at for me, because we have all these microclimates and everything tastes so different. And I'd love to be a house of just Rhone stuff where we could do single vineyard Grenaches, Syrahs, Mourvedres. But I love Cabernet. Once I tried Red Mountain Cabernet, I got an appreciation for Cabernet. So, and that is a pretty attractive wine to some of my customers. So I'd like to have everything that other people like. But again, my passion lies with making Rhone varietals.
raising a glass to the staff of the Wine Commission, all the volunteers, and of course all the winemakers that took time to be here, the restaurants, the staff, everybody. Here's to you, and here's to Washington Wine.